Hello, Angela Chrysler, Chief Development Officer, Phil Chrysler, President and CEO of Impact Health Sharing. And we are live on not only Instagram, so hello our Insta followers, I see some folks are joining us over there. We decided, why do one platform when you can do two? So we are also on Facebook because we had a great interaction with our friends who were on Facebook yesterday. Wow, the Instagram friends are really jumping on, so that's exciting because we didn't get to see you yesterday unless you switched on over. So thanks for joining us on both platforms. I see people are joining us on both of those. So again, I'm Angela Chrysler, Chief Development Officer. This is Phil Chrysler, the President and CEO of Impact Health Sharing. And we are going to give you some Impact Health Sharing updates because it is now live on the ACN website. So super excited for our IBOs. Yes, we got lots of folks waving, saying hello.
Is this a first for you, doing both platforms?
This is a first for me. I should be taking a picture. Yes, we have two tripods set up. All my devices are in use. We have my iPad, we have my iPhone, and say a prayer that we continue to stay on both devices and both platforms. So why do one when you can do two? So,
why not, right? Yeah.
Right? Why not? Because some of you have a preference to which platform you're on, so we're glad you're here. All right, I know you're ready for us to jump right into all of the details. So here's what we want to do. Phil, why don't you just tell them quickly, what is Impact Health Sharing? It's new to our suite of services on the ACN website. So IBOs, I know you've got great brand name companies right now that you've been sharing for years. ACN, been in business since 1993, and they continue to just make improvements because they are very field focused, and healthcare sharing is the newest service.
That's
so
right.
What it is.
Yeah, so healthcare sharing, we're so glad ACN sees it like we see it, right? And that is, they want to give as many people possible access to affordable healthcare. And we do that with Impact Health Sharing. The industry, the healthcare sharing industry does that.
Yes.
We practice a ethics-based healthcare sharing instead of the very good religious base that work for them and their groups of people. They do a great job. We're just different in that regard, and we bring a modern, more technology approach to healthcare sharing. We call it contemporary healthcare sharing, and so very, very proud to welcome all those that are like-minded, want to be involved in a community, because it's the community that's paying those eligible medical expenses, not the entity. Not the entity, right? So it's peer-to-peer, you're dependent upon the monthly voluntary contributions. That's why we cannot provide a guarantee, my friends. We just can't, because it's not the entity paying, it's the members that are contributing monthly, and the community is growing and growing and growing, and really,
thank you, ACN.
Yes, it's been an exciting 24 to 48 hours here almost. So very, very exciting times. We are growing by leaps and bounds. There are so many people coming in, wanting to join, getting their pricing to join, filling out their application process, talking to our folks. And that's the one thing I want to mention real quick, if you could allow me to just dive into a little quick detail.
We're going to go into all sorts of details.
Not my strength, but I was told to say this. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Abby. You can put a checkbox here, and that is when you decide you want to learn more about Impact Health Sharing, right? And you get a message to schedule a call, right? You're able to schedule a call with our folks, which is great. Nearly half of everyone is pre-scheduling a call. But let's say you decide to you need to cancel or reschedule. That same link that confirmed it on there at the bottom is a way for you to reschedule. Don't fill out a new one, because that creates some data challenges for the team, and so we want to keep it pure and clean. So if you need to cancel, you need to reschedule, just simply go to the bottom of that link and click on that link to go ahead and do either one of those. So
great.
Lots of good stuff going on.
Yes, so I have some details for you in relation to ACN, but before I get to those, Phil, let's just tell them quickly, who's an ideal Impact Health Sharing member? Because maybe right now you're thinking of some names, some people maybe that you have already talked to about Flash Mobile, about Vivint, some of our other amazing partners, right? Dish, and you're thinking, wow, I should go back and talk to them about Impact Health Sharing. Who's an ideal member?
Yeah, great point, right? We got so many great choices and so many great things to talk to so many people about, and we're just at Impact just just thrilled to be added to that conversation, come alongside those great brands already. But really, it's anyone that's interested in evaluating their healthcare costs, want to look at lowering it. In many cases, depending on some variables, but in many cases, you could save up to 50% on healthcare costs when you compare us to traditional insurance, apples to apples in that regard. So a great way to save money. Remember, 5% of the population accounts for nearly 50% of the medical spend. What does that mean? That means a lot of people are just overpaying and underutilizing healthcare. And so in comes Impact Health Sharing to help save the day and drive down those costs for those individuals, for those families, for those seniors, and then eventually here with ACN groups in that regard.
Yes.
So, of course, obviously the many gig workers, the real estate agents, the direct sellers, the ACN IBOers, anyone, small business owners here eventually, self-employed, someone that pays some or all of their healthcare costs. There's a good chance that we should talk to them, educate them about healthcare sharing and Impact's contemporary modern approach to it, and see if it's a good fit for them.
Okay, great. And I have good news. If you were trying to take notes during that, we have a sheet. It's actually a couple-page sheet recommended by the influencers. Thanks again to them. They're amazing leaders. This should be up by the end of today or the first of tomorrow. ACN and Impact are just fine-tuning it. So it's super, super close. I know I told you that yesterday after on my Facebook Live, but I really feel like we're close. Really, the suggestions that came in today, I think are just going to make it easier, better for you when you go to utilize it. And on there, it talks about what is Impact's ideal member. It also talks about what's the first step. Well, the first step is get accredited. Now, ACN IBOs, here's the reason you need to get accredited. And the reason is so that you'll get a little understanding of Impact Health Sharing. You'll follow their guidelines along while you're doing that accreditation. All of that can be found at acncompass.com. And then when you do that, remember, that is tied to you individually. So that accreditation, you don't want to forward that email. You want to check the email real carefully, make sure that you didn't have any typos because you were typing fast. Go nice and slow. Make sure you get that correct, because that is how, when you do submit either a lead for yourself, right, because you're the IBO, or you have your interested party submit a lead for themselves, because we need to make sure the customer submits that. When they do that, we want to make sure that that lead advances, that customer-generated inquiry goes forward. And how we do that is if you're accredited. So just make sure you get accredited. That's your very first thing. The next thing is, striking up a conversation about Impact Health Sharing. Phil just gave you an idea about some of those who would be interested. I was just talking to Harsh Patel today. I'm going to give you a little testimonial. Why? Because facts tell, the stories sell. And Harsh Patel said this to me. He said he has already gone on to Impact Health Sharing. He has utilized his personal website in order to send the link, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, but let's stay with Harsh's testimonial first. One of the things that Harsh said, I said, Harsh, how was the accreditation? He said it was super easy. I said, awesome. Okay, what about filling out the information, getting yourself a quote, and then also filling out the information so you could make a proper buying decision? He said, yeah, that was quick, that was easy. Now, I said, okay, Harsh, so you got it for yourself. You're going to get started with Impact Health Sharing. He's going to save a bunch of money. That's exciting. Now what? And he said, well, now what? I've already talked to other customers, people who are real estate. Yeah. Phil brought up people who are in real estate, people who are other networkers. Harsh has already gone out and talked to others and said, listen, I have an option for you. I have a way to help you with your healthcare needs. And so he's utilizing his personal website. Now, make sure that you're actually not just taking the link from your landing page, but you actually need to go to your services, just like you do for all the other great services, and send them the link to the service page of Impact Health Sharing. Why? Because then when you do that, and we tested it, because on yesterday's Facebook Live, we got the question, I'm not seeing my IBO number when I send that link. Well, you may have used the landing page link. You actually need to use the link from your personal storefront or your personal website, because then in the contact information that you send your interested customer, it will have your IBO number. So make sure you use that when you go to share that personal website, and that's what Harsh said he's doing.
Yeah.
super excited. Harsh is a great leader. He's an influencer. He's an RVP, and he is out talking to folks and really, really excited about Impact, along with a whole bunch of other people. As Phil said, we got a bunch of interested parties yesterday who've already submitted information.
Yes.
IBOs who were interested in it for themselves, like Harsh, who said, listen, this is going to help save me money. And then, of course, now he has his very own testimonial to go out and talk to others. So really excited about that.
Right.
Now, one of the things that Impact does is you contact the interested party within 3 days.
Yep, give us up to 3 days. Now that's dependent upon lead volume. So we're staffing up, more coming on board every day to make sure we accommodate everyone's needs in that regard. So, but it could take up to 3 days for us to schedule an appointment with you, or just simply call you. So you can be proactive by scheduling that appointment and booking those. I can tell you, nearly half of all the leads have actually scheduled time already in the calendar.
Oh, that's so cool,
yeah,
right?
So it's just our staff loves it. It populates their schedule, and you love it because you know when to expect a call, right, from our staff. So.
And that's something new that you did for ACN.
It is,
You guys hadn't had that feature, but they asked the question. You got your team figured it out, which you gotta love that about their team.
Well, that just tells you how field focused the leaders, co-founders are about their IBOs, right? And said, hey, can you do this? I think it would be helpful. And we said, wow, that's a great idea. Yes, we will. And we did. And now the result is very, very successful.
Yes, I love that aspect. And I can tell you, sitting on the executive leadership calls, Mike Kane, VP of Sales, always thinking ahead. That's one of the reasons we're still looking at this sheet that we're going to get you very soon, is because they want to just keep fine-tuning it to make it easiest and best as possible, right? Tony Kupes, he has experience in this, and he said, you know what, Phil, wow, if they could be contacted through a text to actually set up the calendar invite, wouldn't that make it easier? Here's why I share that. You have top executives at ACN, you have co-founders, you have a VP of sales, you have Greg Provenzano, another co-founder, who are spending time and energy to make the process easier and better for IBOs. That tells me a lot about this company that you and I are involved in, and a lot about the partner that's saying, okay, we get it, we want to help, we want to continue to implement those things. So I love that field-focused thought. So
well, it's really,
it.
Absolutely, it's putting everyone in a position to win, right? And that's our responsibility, that's ACN's responsibility, and it's your responsibility to decide that you do want to win.
Yes. So Impact's going to take care of that interested party, as I said, within about 30 days. Now, you might be thinking, 30 days, darn it all. Within 3 days, and remember, within a calendar month, I was already thinking ahead to my next point, within a calendar month, what I love about Impact is you can get started the very next month. There is no only during open enrollment, which some of you might be familiar with. Instead, with Impact, if those people who are contacted this month, they actually get started June 1st if they choose to, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And so you got really this entire month to finish that process. Sooner the better, because as we get closer to the end of the month, we get busier. And so it could be extended times, right, to get back to you. But so sooner the better. But membership begins the very first day of every month. So you just got to finish your process, your application, your banking information by the last day of the previous month.
Awesome. That's super exciting. Okay, a couple other tips that came from yesterday's live, and that is this. So we talked about sending the link from your personal website. We talked about all the great content at ACN Compass. More to come on that. More videos, more resources. We talked about the 3 days. Last but not least, let's talk about the alerts. Okay, so you're an IBO, and you're used to these alerts in your back office, right? These personal customer lists. They give you an update on what's going on with your customers. I love that feature with ACN. And so with Impact, here's what they look like. They're going to let you know when the lead has been generated. So that's great. You'll know, okay, you have a lead that has been generated. They're also going to let you know when the application has been completed. Right? That you're going to know once the lead is generated that sometime within the next 3 days, that person's going to get a text, they're going to get an email, they're going to get a phone call. Okay, there's nothing else you need to do for those first 3 days. You might want to connect with your person, just make sure that they've either set their appointment, they've checked their email, but really nothing else you need to do. Then you're going to get contacted via your personal customer list during those alerts when the application has been completed, right? So that's the next one. The next one is application fee receipt. Now this is something I want to make sure that we cover so that our IBOs know that here's what happens right now.
Mhm.
They fill out the application,
Yep.
they then utilize ACH to pay for their
Right.
application
Right.
fee. This is all standard in healthcare sharing.
Yeah.
And when they do that, then there are 3 to 5 banking days
Yeah.
where that now has to process, right?
Yeah.
They have to actually get the funds. Then you or your team is going to let ACN know, we have the funds, great news, application has been received, funds have been processed. At that point, ACN will let you know with another alert, application fee received. That way you're completely up to date, you know they have received that, and
Yep.
good news, it is now considered an active customer. That customer will count towards qualification points, and that's exciting news, right? So that happens, and then there's a couple other alerts, like when that first monthly payment is received, when the monthly payment is received, you're going to continue to get updates from your IBO back office in that personal customer list. So ACN just wants to continue to keep you in the loop, IBOs, as Impact continues to work on that lead. All right, we have covered everything.
All
Bill.
right, great
Yes.
job.
Oh my goodness, because I know it was a lot, right? A lot going on, but super excited for you to continue to learn about Impact Health Sharing so you can share it along with the other great suite of services. I'll remind you that tomorrow night on Facebook Live, we'll be doing a webinar with Phil and his team. You're going to get to hear really more of a product training tomorrow night. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern, so you definitely want to make sure you make a note of that. Join us there today. And yesterday, we've just been trying to answer some of your common questions. And thank you for your patience, for your grace, for your excitement, and continue to check ACN Compass for the latest and the greatest, and sharing the great news of ACN and all the variety of services that we offer, because they are fantastic. Whether someone's looking for healthcare, looking for Flash Mobile, Vivint, they have a great security program, lots of great choices. ID theft, we have that ID seal, right?
Yes,
Want to make
yes.
sure that you keep all your information protected, so check all those out as well. And have a great day, everyone, and God bless.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.